guys, and welcome back to the channel. So this is the long awaited video of doing the DIY wall art that I said I was gonna do roughly a few weeks ago, but we're gonna get into it today. If you haven't seen that video where I turned my son's room into a gamer's room vibe, I will link an iCard on the screen as well as the link in the description box below. So basically what I'm doing right here, I have a printout of the PlayStation remote that I printed out from online, and I'm just doing a rough draft, tracing out the outline. The main base that I'm using to create this project is a cardboard. With being at home and ordering a lot of stuff online from Amazon, you accumulate quite a few boxes, so that's where I got the idea for this project, to kind of utilize one of the boxes that actually came from ordering the stuff for his room. So I just traced it on the cardboard to get the outline of the remote. This tool that I'm using here is a protractor, I believe it's called. Yeah, I think it's called a protractor. You can find these at the Dollar Tree right now, being that it's back to school. It usually comes with a ruler, I think, and I'm basically just trying to get a straighter curve, if that make any sense. So that's what I'm using it for, to make sure that my curves on the remote are, you know, preferably even, if that make any sense. So to get more perfect circles, I just found anything circular or cylinder in the house. This is where I brought out the white bowl, and I'm using that to kind of create the circular indentations on the remote. And you can use anything that you have in your house, really. It doesn't have to be a bowl, but I just think, like, you would find a bowl in everyone's house, in anybody's house, so this would probably be the easiest thing that you could find. But if you find anything that's cylinder that can make it work for you, have at it. So right now I'm just going to be replicating the image on the remote that I print out, and you're going to see a little further down in this video that I got like halfway through this remote and I realized that, wait a minute, actually it was my husband that brought it to my attention that I was actually doing the wrong remote. This remote that I'm currently doing right now is the PlayStation 3, but initially I was, in my mind, wanted to do the PlayStation 4, so when he brought it to my attention I had to go back and made some adjustments. But the adjustments I made was fairly easy, and you're going to see in this video how I did that. But again, just replicating what I saw on the picture, making it easy for me, and then I went ahead and outlined it with a marker just so it's more visible. And then after I finished up outlining, I'm just going to cut it out. Okay, so this is where I realized, and hubby brought to my attention, that I was actually doing the wrong style remote. So I just pulled up the correct remote on my phone and just went at making the adjustments from there, which, like I said, is fairly easy, because the main difference between the two remotes is that black centerpiece, I would say. And because I'm painting this remote, it's going to make it easy for me to adjust and make the change. So I just draw the lines of what I wanted to make the adjustment, and then I wrote on it, omit, at parts where I know that I have to cover over with the paint. And that was just fairly the adjustments that I made to make it easy. Like I said, you're going to see in the video how I did that, but again, fairly easy transition. Now with all the corrections made, it's time to cut it out. I am using a cutting mat to cut it out to protect my surface, because I am on the floor and I don't want to damage the tiles or dull my knife. I'm using a box cutter, that's the tool I would recommend, or an X-Acto knife. You can try to use a scissors, but I gotta be honest, it's probably going to be difficult with trying to get around the edge, or at least trying to cut it perfectly. So if you can, try to use a box cutter or an X-Acto knife to get better and cleaner edge. Alright, so for this part you're going to cut out some 1.5 strips, as long as you can cut them, because you're going to use this to trim around the edge of the remote. And this is going to act for 3 purposes. 1 is going to make a 3D effect. 2 is going to have an easy mount to mount on the wall, and 3, it is going to act as a holder for the LED strips that you can add if you choose to. I didn't include that in this video because that was an afterthought when I created this remote, but when I did thought to put the LED strips on it, this strip is where I mounted it to. So just giving you a heads up if that's something you want to do and put the LED strips on it, which I would recommend because it gives off a better glow effect. Using this frame is actually going to have something for it to adhere to, and because you're using 1.5 inch strips, it is fairly thin. It's going to make it easy to bend and manipulate the cardboard. So when you're getting around those edges, just slightly bend the cardboard and then glue as you go, and that will kind of make a stronger structure for the base of the remote. As an extra reinforcer and to hold everything in place while the glue is drying, I use masking tape and I just put it all around the back of the remote. Honestly, I left it on like that. You can choose to remove it if you want, but it's on the back of the remote, so it's not going to be seen anyway. Now on to the fun part, the painting. I painted my remote with 2 coats. You could choose to paint it as many times as you want, because the cardboard does absorb the first layer very lightly, so it kind of gives it a light matte finish. So I went over it with a second time, and then I choose to do 2 different colors when I created the main base of the remote, and then the circular indentations for the actual buttons, as you can see. Now to cover up those rough edges, I use electrical tape to kind of give it a more cleaner look. And a little tip on using it, I cut up my strips like in small sections, and then I glue them on in small sections, because I feel like when I tried just doing a large portion of the remote, I wasn't getting the alignment right, and the tape was kind of, you know, go in different directions that I wasn't liking. So I just decided to just cut them in segments and just work my way around the remote, just angling it right to get that clean finish. So to add a little more 3D effect, I'm going to be using foam to add a little more dimensions to my PlayStation buttons. So I'm just going to be cutting out all of the buttons in the circular indentation and then hot gluing them on the base, and this, guys, gives it, like I said, a nice 3D effect off of the PlayStation remote. I printed out all the PlayStation signs in different sizes because I didn't really know what size would fit, being that I was kind of just doing things randomly, and I'm just going to cut them out and just see what fits and then glue them all into place. Now you can find these printables online for free. You just type in, free PlayStation signs, clip art, PNG, which is going to give you that free background, and then paste it to a Word document and print it out from there, or you can print it out straight from the site. I decided to do last minute. I actually just recently bought it that same day. I wanted to try to see if I can make the remote glow with a different design on it. So I looked on my phone for a different design, and it started out as me trying to create like a lightning effect, but I just went with my hand. And if you're creative, 9 times out of 10 sometimes things don't turn out the way you anticipated, but you go with it. And the one thing that I've been taught in school when I took any of my art classes is my teacher always told me there's never really a mistake when it comes to art and creativity, because it's something you create yourself. So that is where this effect come from. I went over it at first initially with blue and just blue paint, and then I went over that blue paint after it dried for like 5 minutes with the glow paint. And this is the final results, guys. This really does glow in the dark, so I took it for a test run, especially with the LED strips around it, as you can see in this clip. So this DIY is fairly simple. All you're going to do really is search for an image that will go with your theme in your room that's free online. Make sure that it has the PNG with it so that you can have the free background, and then you just attach it to any Word document with 8x10, like the size of your page. Print that out and then just place them in the frame. I got my frames from the Dollar Tree for $1 each, and that's fairly easy. So this project literally just cost me $4, and something like this online, trust me, I did the research, one wall art was like $8 to $10. So you're getting a steal just by doing it yourself. Guys, so that is it for this video. Hope you found it helpful and is easy to replicate for you. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.